Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. It is time for my weekly What Sold video. And you guys, we've had a killer weekend. 17 on eBay, 1 over on Mercari, 1 item for $500 by itself. Yeah, you don't want to miss it. All right, guys. So yeah, 1 item sold for $500, but the biggest tip of this video is going to be the one thing that I did to absolutely increase this sale. And I will go into detail on what happened, but you guys, this is an absolute game changer. And if you are a reseller, you need to be doing this. I've done it before. I've probably mentioned it before, but it is an absolute high ticket tip that you need to be doing for your business. So we're going to dive into my what sold video. We've got, like I said, 17 items, gross profit on eBay of $14.50 and 1 over on Mercari for $100. So we're at $15.50 in a weekend. These are gross sales. You will get a full breakdown at the very end where I break down, that's going to be the total that eBay is getting right now. So that's going to include taxes, shipping, all of it. So I need to minus my cost of good. I need to minus the shipping. I need to minus fees. I mean, all the things. So I don't get to keep that full $15.50, almost $1,600. So you'll see what I actually made at the very end. It's probably going to be like 800-ish, 900, I'm hoping. We'll see, because that big ticket $500 item, wow, that is the game changer. That was my first sale of the weekend too. So that was a good way to kick off the weekend when that came in. I'm like, wow, okay, we could go with 0 sales the rest of the weekend and I'm going to be thrilled. But I ended up getting 17 more items, or 16 items on eBay, 1 over on Mercari. All right, Jennifer, let's dive in. This was a fun one. I've sold these last week. You got to see these in last week's video. And it is these Planet Fitness stickers. I'm almost out of them. Sad face. I think I've got 1 more bundle. Hubby counted them. And yeah, I've only got 1 bundle left. So these were fun. I think I paid $3 for the whole box of them. And I was selling them in packs of 10 for $10. They went on sale. They were $8. Now I have them back up at $9 for these last couple pairs. And they're selling. People want Planet Fitness stickers. I don't know why, but some people want them. But somebody did at me about my envelope that I used to ship these in. So I do want to correct myself and make sure that you guys don't make the mistake. So I have these little envelopes. They were not expensive. Someone said there's other envelopes that are cheaper. Okay, they're probably cheaper for other people. But these, I think these were in a free basket. Like, I wouldn't have these envelopes because I paid for them. So they either came with something or they were in a free bucket because I never buy envelopes. Okay, so these ones do have this little metal tab. Okay, so somebody corrected me that you're not supposed to mail anything with metal because when it's going through that little machine, it's going to get stuck. So you know how we fix that? Abracadabra. Like, it's really not a big deal. So these stickers are still going to come in here. I'm going to be able to fold it up and it's going to cost me like 50 cents to ship these stickers. So, okay, fine. Maybe I was wrong by having that little tabby thing on there. I didn't realize I was breaking the rules, but it happened. So before I was just taping over it, so it wasn't getting caught in machines. That tab was never exposed. There was tape over it to make it smooth, but just in case I was breaking a postal machine, today that will not happen. So, all right, that's how we fix that. Okay, so that was my smallest sale. And then my most expensive, yes, you're going to have to wait for the very end. Because I always sort these from the most expensive to the least expensive. Nope, just kidding. Least expensive to most expensive. I'm recording this on Sunday night. So you guys know you get really fun videos on Sunday night because my brain's half asleep. And I make really stupid mistakes. But it's going to be another crazy week, you guys. Like, summer is the months of survival, and not only are we surviving this ridiculous heat, we were 111 today. I thought I was gonna melt. 111. I think we're gonna be well into 100 all week long. I think it's 109, 108, then we go back to like 112. Oh my gosh, why do I live in this state? It is so stinking hot here. But I've got to keep the kids busy. Like, summer break, I've got 2 kids and they're going crazy. So they had camp last week. Thank you, God. That kept them busy. That kept them entertained. That kept them stimulated and all the things. It was amazing. This week, no camp. One kid has a theater camp. Like, how fun is that going to be? Like, these kids are living the best life, and I am their chaperone. So, or chauffeur. More chauffeur than chaperone. But that theater camp is going to be a blast for her. But otherwise, the other guy, Lincoln, poor guy, he's home all week. But we have to do things. So there's splash pads we got to do. There's play dates we got to do. I still have to hit the bins, you guys. Like, I still have to work and make a living. So starting with the bins, then doing some splash pad, then coming back and doing orders. I'm just cutting that window very small. So here I am Sunday night recording my what sold and gonna start packing some of the stuff. Luckily it's a lot of smalls. Everything is on the table here minus one on the floor. So these aren't going to take me long to pack at all, and I'll be able to pack some in the morning before we head off for our first event of the day. But I have to record now because I don't want to put all my recordings like I did last week in a 20-minute section that I had to pack orders and film and get them to the post office. Yeah, that was a mistake. We're not doing that again. So, okay, sale number 2. Ooh, I'm extra chatty today. Sorry. All right, we've got these little mogi. They're just little dry skin pedicure perfect refills. I don't know. Apparently they're popular, but I've had them for a little while. These were a set of 4 of them. They were in a bag, or I think it was at the thrift store. And I paid $3.75. So yeah, I'm guessing this was a savers find because it must have been like 20% off or something on $5 day. That's my thought. So 4 of these sold for $13. No, I will not buy these again, but they're super easy to ship. They're going to go right into a poly mailer. I mean, they're just, woo, I almost threw it. Cardboard, plastic, super safe. All right, next one, another small pair of shoes. These ones are actually in really good condition. They are women's New Balance 840. Like, good golly, these guys look brand spanking new. Why they sold for $25? Someone got a heck of a deal. But I paid $3 at my local thrift. I was actually, I think I see a 6 on here. So they're a half price day. They do half price on shoes all the time because they have so many shoes that they get. They need them gone. So they're going to half price stuff. And like I said, these guys are super clean, but they're a 10.5. They are a big foot. A women's 10.5. That's a very large foot. Like, I'm a 7.5. So this person, either they have really big feet or they're really tall, because that's a large woman's foot. I don't know. That just seems large. Okay, I don't know. Jennifer, stop thinking about it. It's old. I paid $3. I'm happy to sell some shoes. Okay, are you guys ready for that tip that I was talking about? And that's going to come to this next sale. So this is what I did to increase my sales. And that is, I sold this item here. These are Nutrafol vitamins. Okay, I just bought this today. This morning, I went to the bins. This afternoon, it was after church. I went to the bins at 2 o'clock. Here we are at 8 o'clock, and they already sold. Okay, so that's how fast, and I knew they would sell that fast. These vitamins sold for $40. I had this from Dollar Day. So I messaged her and told her, thank you so much for your order. I have another pair of the refills, and I would love to give you a discount on it. Are you interested in another pack? So she writes back, she's like, oh, I don't want to pay. I had it at $38. She's like, I don't want to pay $38 because it expires this month, which it does, June of 2025. So we're June 15th today, so technically they've got 15 days to use a 30-day supply. I doubt you're going to explode if you use a vitamin for 15 extra days past the expiration, but I understand. I want to sell them now so that they can get gone and people can start using them right away. So that's what I told her. I said, the pack that you purchased is good till September. So if you get these, you can start these now and have 2 months worth of supply. So she writes back, she said, yes, but I don't want to pay $38. And I said, no, as a current customer, I would love to give you a discount. How about $30 and you can have the other bag? And she said, absolutely, let's do it. So you guys, just by doing that quick 2-second outreach to her, I made an extra $30. So how many times can you do that in a day? Probably a lot. There's a lot of items I know in my store that would go well with others. Ink, toner, vitamins, shoes. Like when you have something that you have multiple that are very similar, shoes with the same size, vitamins with the same, not prescription, but the same ingredients, backpacks of the same brand, reach out to these buyers and tell them that you'll give them a discount, because when you're able to ship them in the same box, you're going to save time and you're going to save money on the shipping, and you're going to get an extra happy customer. So definitely do that outreach, do that response to somebody who's buying your stuff that you can help with another item of yours, give them the discount and make some extra money. So I hope that helped somebody else, because that made me an extra $30 today. Okay, so like I said, I paid $8 for one. Today is $8 day, and the other one was dollar day. So I'm in at $9. Those ones sold for $30, the ones that I sent the offer, and that first box sold for $40. So 50, 60, that's $70 from 81. I can't add $9 into $70. Yes, please. And they're super small. They're going to fit in their own little box, and we've got a happy customer. All right, next up, this was another fast one. Another dollar day. So this was just last week on Wednesday. When I go to dollar day, was this dollar or $3? Hold on, let me make sure. Where are you at? Yeah, this was dollar day. So dollar day is Wednesday here, and when I'm talking about my bins, it is the Amazon liquidation bins. I'm surprised mine is still around, because I know so many of them go under really fast. Mine's still floating, and I am just riding this wave as long as I can. So dollar day is madness. I will not be in line at the beginning of the day, because there's probably 100 people in line. No. It is just madness. I will do $15 day Friday and be in that line 2 hours early, but dollar day, you can't pay me. I don't know why. It's madness in there on dollar day, and it gets so trashed because people are opening things, throwing things around, filling their carts to the rooftops. Like, oh my goodness, it's a poop show. I do not enjoy dollar days. So I will go to dollar day at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Oh yes, please, because there's still lots of stuff left in the tables. You're digging through a lot of trash, yes, but there's still things to be found. So, like I said, that pack of the vitamins, that was $1. This guy here, it's an Eaton surge protector device. It's brand new in this box. So this little guy sold for $34. I paid $1. That's almost as equivalent as finding it in a free pile. Like, really? I paid $1 to make 35? Yes, I will do that all day. So, yeah, I like the dollar days, but not until late in the afternoon. I do not do them when they open. Not my jam. Not my jam at all. Okay, then we've got some teardrops. What are these, Jennifer? All right, I paid $8, so this must have been on a bin day. Sundays are $8 day. So for my bins, it's 15 on Friday, 11, 8 Sunday, 5, 3, 1, and then they're closed on Thursdays for restock. So this must have been $8 day. I don't know if I was desperate or if these used to sell for more, but this guy sold for $37. Out of 8, it's not awful, but it's not my favorite margins on $8 day. But it sold pretty quick, and they're brand new. They're still sealed, and they get to go in a little poly mailer because it's just a little hunk of like cardboard. Nothing's going to happen to them in shipping, and I've got a lot of poly mailers. So that's all right. $37. I'll take it. Okay, this next one, I don't know what I was thinking. This was, I don't even know what I was thinking. I don't know. I don't even know what I paid for it because I didn't put it in my spreadsheet. So hopefully it wasn't more than a couple dollars. That's what I put into my spreadsheet. But if you follow me for a while, you know I do not like clothing. I don't. There's too many questions, too many returns, just too many picky buyers. And it's not even picky. Okay, I don't say it that way. It's more, you want to know what you're buying. You want to know that it's going to fit. You want to know it's going to look right on you. And especially with women's clothing, we are picky. We want to make sure that it fits right. And clothing sizes for women is awful. Where you could be a size large on 90% of the items, there's that 10% of items that aren't going to fit you. They're too small, they're too big, they're too fluffy, they're too round, they're too tall, they're all of it. So men's, if I do buy clothing, it'll be men's clothes because luckily their sizing is pretty generic. And if you're a men's extra large, you're a men's extra large across the board. And this guy here is a racing jacket. I don't know, maybe I should have kept it for hubby, but he's not a NASCAR fan. He does like racing, but not NASCAR. So this is a Tony Stewart jacket. Home Depot. Men's extra large. NASCAR. I must have grabbed it at an estate sale, but it sold for $28. Jennifer? No. I don't know why. I mean, it's a racing jacket. Home Depot. Tony Stewart. Like, I thought that would be good, but wasn't there drama with him? I feel like I've heard that name about something. I don't know. But either way, not my husband's jam, and I'm just happy to get rid of it because it's just taking up space. So, $28. I do not put this in my BOLO list. All right. We do have some helmet headsets. All right. This is kind of a China brand. This isn't a very popular brand. There's a certain brand that I can't think of the name right now of these headsets that do sell well. This particular one is called FreedCon. I don't see that as a very popular brand. They did not sell very well. I paid $15 for the set. Both of them were in a bag together, and it sold for $47. So again, 15 into 50, not great because it's free shipping. I'm going to make about $10 on this by the time I minus the shipping, minus the 15 I paid, minus the fees. Yeah, it's not a good buy, but I'm happy to get rid of it. Now I know that this is not a brand to go after. And hopefully someone else is happy. All right. This is an oldie, you guys. I've had this one probably 3+ years. Looking at the picture, I changed my background at least 3 years ago. I mean, time is weird, but I think it was about at least 3 years ago. It is a Panasonic shaver. Not a great one. I don't know why it took so long to sell. Probably because I had it overpriced. I don't know. But it has its charger. It has an extra blade top. And it wasn't in my spreadsheet, so I put a $2 is what I paid for it. It had to have been an estate sale or a garage sale. Because I wouldn't have been shopping at the bins this long ago, because my bins are fairly new. All right, but it sold for $27. So, again, I'm happy just to get rid of it. And it'll be super easy to ship because it's super small. All right, this next one's a fun one. Kind of a pain. This buyer... All right, I should know better that when somebody is kind of a pain in the questions and in the negotiating, and they're just very, very hardcore, I don't know what to call them, but a pain in the butt, chances are they're going to continue to be a pain when they get their item. So, fingers crossed that I don't regret this, but I had this item. It is a compact mini disc player, okay? I paid $1 for this at my local thrift. $1. Tested it out, and it works. It does work. It does turn on. I had a mini disc to be able to put in and see that the disc thing moved. I see the numbers moving. Like, this guy's working, but it only works when it's plugged in. It should be a wireless device. It should work by himself, but he doesn't. So, I don't know. I put it in the comments of what it's doing. If it worked, it's like a $200 mini disc player, but it didn't work. So, it could have been user problem. That maybe it doesn't need to be unplugged. Maybe I just got duped and this thing works perfectly and he's going to go double his money. It's possible. But I paid $1. So I listed it. I want to say, I can't see the original right now. It'll be on the screen. But I originally listed it, I think, at like $120. It went on sale. I was right around $100. And this guy kept going back and forth, telling me all the repairs he had to do with it. Chances are he's lying. That's usually when they start doing that, you know they're full of baloney. Because they'll be like, oh, that's an old model. Or, oh, that one's out of style. And no, they're lying because they just want it for cheap. So I was on the fence of declining it. And he started his offer game at like $40. I'm like, dude, no, eat dirt. I just said decline. And then he sent one for like $50. And I'm like, no thanks, decline. And then he comes back telling me he had to have the battery repaired and hire somebody for this and that. And I'm sure he's going to be the person he hires to fix it. I mean, I wasn't born yesterday. So, he got it for $63. So, all right. It can either bite me if he ends up saying it's not as described, which is baloney because I put the problems I was having, or he outsmarted me and he's going to sell it for $300. We'll have to see. But I'm happy with taking $1 and turning it into $67. And that is the bottom line of what we have to remind ourselves, that yes, there could be money left on the table. If I just got completely bamboozled and he's going to go and sell it for $200, high five to him for making $100 on his purchase, right? But how many items that I've already listed and that I'm about to list and tell you guys about that I pay $5 to $20 and double, triple, quadruple my money is endless. So no, I'm not going to make every penny of every single item. I need to flip my items. So if I'm sometimes the middleman, it's okay. It's okay to be the middleman and not make every dollar that was on the table, because there's enough stuff to go around. I still have 1,200 items in my store. So if someone came in and said, I'm going to buy your whole store for half price, heck yeah, come and bring the truck. Come and take it, because I want to get rid of my stuff. So there's no reason to hold on to it to make every single penny when I know I'm going next week to buy another dozen plus items. I need to keep selling stuff to make room for those new items. All right. Okay. Sorry. Off my horse, but $63 out of $1. I'm going to take it. Okay. Next up is a saltwater cartridge. These little dudes used to be worth a lot more, but they're still selling well. This guy is open, but he does look new. I don't see any cooties. I don't see any like, no signs of use. It's just that the box is open. So I sold it open box. I paid $1. This was on Dollar Day, and it sold for $64. So again, I don't think that was an offer. I think that's just the sale that I had on it. But I'm happy to get rid of it. And it's open box. So if for some reason he comes back and says, oh, it is used, I'm out $1 plus my $5 in shipping. So it's just what it is. Cost of living, cost of business, I should say. All right, next up, we've got an Osprey backpack. And a very large frying pan, but we'll go over it later. Brand spanking new in his package. As you know, that is $15 a day at my bins. Brand spanking new with his tags. Like, come on. Osprey is a top brand of hiking equipment. Probably lots of equipment, but hiking bags are a big one. Walking, running, I don't know what all you use it for. Athletics. And he is brand spanking new. So this guy is just going to go in another poly bag. I've got these 20 by 20 poly bags that I've bought at the bins. Thank you, bins. So it's going to go right into there. He's going to stay in this bag. So it's bag in a bag. I'm not putting this in a box. There's no reason. There's nothing breakable. It's a backpack. So it's going to be the easiest thing to ship of my larger items. All right. And so $15 a day, it sold for $50. That one I did play the offer game, but he did pay shipping. So that's what he came back with. He's like, oh, there's some that are similar that are selling for $60, free shipping. And I'm like, okay, fine. I'll just do the 50. I think I had it at 60 or 65. But I took 50 plus shipping because, again, going back to that whole idea of reselling items, I don't want to hoard it. So if somebody is really interested in it, get it out of my store. I'll make the quick $20 on it and move on. All right, now for that frying pan. Oh my gosh, this thing has to weigh like 5 pounds. It is a very heavy frying pan. It is by Matfer Bourget. I have no idea. All right, it's got a label on it. I left the stickers because it's going to need some serious Goo Gone to get it off. It's a little dusty. I've had it for a few weeks. $15 bin find. I mean, this is a stinking honkin', like, this guy could be a weapon. Woo. Okay, but he sold for $67. He will definitely go into a box because he's big and he's heavy. Oof. All right, this next one goes in the I definitely overpriced it category. I have had this forever, old background, so we're talking at least 3 years. It's also not in my spreadsheet because that's how old it is. I didn't have my spreadsheet 3 years ago, and I obviously overpriced it. So an offer comes in on it, and I go ahead and start looking up some comps because it's been 3 years since I listed it. Things change. So I'm looking up comps, and they're selling for like $60, $70 right now. And I'm like, okay, mine is kind of rough. It does have some games with it, but it's in rough shape. So Jennifer, why did you price it so much? I have no idea. So now someone was interested. They sent an offer of $100. I took it. I've had it forever. Nobody's interested in it. it did work 3 years ago when I listed it, and it's just sitting in a box. But it is definitely very well loved. So here he is. He is blue. It's a Game Boy Advance SP. But I mean, he's super scratched. It wasn't in my spreadsheet, like I said. So I don't know if it was with a box of other stuff or if I just paid a few bucks for it. I mean, it's not awful shape on the inside. It's definitely more on the outside. But I don't know. It was $100. So I'm not going to say no to that. And I've had it forever. So it's pretty obvious that I overpriced it. But at least somebody saw the value and sent me an offer so that they can buy it. All right, so we broke 100 now. Now we're getting into the $100 plus items. So now let me see where Macari fits in. Okay, this is a good spot to throw in the Macari. This guy is $15 last Friday. So not the Friday that was just here, but the Friday before that. That was the one where I was volunteering at the VBS Vacation Bible School, and I literally had 30 minutes in my bins on a Friday morning because they opened late. Turds showed up 10 minutes late to the opening that Friday. On the Friday that I know I have to leave by like 10:45, these guys didn't show up until after 10:10. Like, you're killing me, guys. So I only had 30 minutes to get to the store, and I was finding a lot of these Warhammer figures, okay? So again, if you've been following me for a while, I love nerdy stuff. This is the stuff that sells consistent and fast. So I bought, I think, I'm looking at my pile of them right now. I think I have like 8 to 10 different versions of these figures. This is actually the most expensive one. This is the one that I knew was worth the most of all the ones that I have. So I paid $15. I put them on both platforms. Highly recommend that because people are going to be buying on both platforms, so you might as well have your items on both. So this guy was $15 day, and it sold for $104 over on Macari, plus shipping. So yeah, I did put it on sale, 5% off. I think I had it on there for $110, put it on sale, and it sold for $104.40. So yes, please. And I actually found one more just today. It was a duplicate of one I already have. So I was able just to change the listing number, and I paid $8 for it. So now we're working with the numbers game. Some of them I paid 15, and now I'm finding it for 8. I don't know. It's a numbers game. But this guy, he does have a little damage to his plastic out here, but I mean, he's brand spanking new, and that's what people are buying it for. And I'm happy to make $100. So that was my one and only and pretty good Macari sale. All right, back over to eBay land. We've got 2 more items for over 100 and one for 500. I know, it's crazy. So we got this other 100 item is a camera. This guy I paid. Oh, hold on. Get your stats before you say your numbers. All right, this one I paid $10 at an estate sale. Go to the right tab here, Jennifer. Nope. Over here. All right, I paid $10 at an estate sale. It might have been filmed. I don't remember. But it is a Canon camera. It is a PowerShot, beautiful HD. It's an SX160IS. Beautiful camera for $10, you guys. It's got a case. I didn't even put this in the listing because this is just a crappy bag to hold it. But I'll ship it in this just to protect it. And he sold for $111 plus shipping. And they actually asked me if they can upgrade their shipping because they need it by next Friday. So I told them that usually with postal, it's still going to be quick. They're only in California. I'm shipping from Arizona, so it's only going to take a couple days anyway. But for the price difference, I was playing with the listing. It was going to be about $7 to go ground to California, and it was $9 and change to go priority. I am going to upgrade him. He paid $12 and change for shipping. I'm going to go ahead and cover that last $2 and ship it priority just to really hope that he does get it in time for his trip, because he's going to end up leaving good feedback. So it's going to be worth it to spend that extra couple bucks and make the customer happy. I will not be doing FedEx overnight or any of those because it's only going to California. If he was all the way over in New York, yes, I would need to do something like that because that's a slow boat all the way across. Okay, it's not a boat. We're in the States. But you get what I'm saying. If it's going priority, I feel like it has a better chance while ground, it still has a good chance, but less of a guarantee. Really, neither of them are guaranteed. They could lose the package along the way. All right, but that's my little tip. Go ahead and upgrade them if it's not going to cost you that much more out of pocket. He covered shipping, so I don't get an extra $2 in profit. It's okay. He's going to get his camera on time, and he's going to be happy about it. So, all right, you guys, this next item, this is a doozy. And I know I talked about this item on Thursday. I bought this on Thursday, but I bought this on Wednesday. Did I buy this on Wednesday? Jennifer? No, I don't remember. I think I bought it on Wednesday. But I did a video on Thursday talking about items that I bought because I didn't film at any sales, I think. All right, now I don't even remember. But I bought it either Wednesday or Thursday. I'm sticking to that. And I paid $20 for it, okay? No, this was on Thursday. Yes, this was Thursday. This was the sale that I was going to film, but because it's craziness with the kids right now, I didn't film there. And I didn't film because normally at this sale, everything is ridiculously priced. And you guys, you see these every week when I go to her sales, and they blow my mind. Like, that was the house with the $400 golf clubs. Yeah, this week she had 2 sets of golf clubs. One was $450, one was $350. Like, girlfriend, shut the door. Like, there's no way anyone's going to pay that much for these golf clubs. They weren't even great golf clubs. So to find this at her sale for this price was mind-blowing. So yes, you guys, I paid $20 for this. And it is a beautiful Bluray Player. You know that I love my combo players, okay? So those are a no-brainer. Combo players are an easy $100 all day long, and they sell fast. I've got one buyer right now that buys every single one that I list. So I need to go through and relist some of mine because he is now my buyer, and I've got others in the store. Or I can send him a message, tell him to go look in my store. I might do that first. Okay, so this guy was super clean. And you guys, it's a Yamaha, but according to hubby, who is my audiophile, this little brand right here, it says Avantage. That's the fancy stuff. So pre-COVID, they used to make, this is what he was trying to tell me, and I'm hoping that it stuck. They used to make this kind of stuff a lot better. Now it's made like crap. So Bluray players now are just junk. The old stuff really, really has their value because this is the best way they ever made them, and they sound better, they play better, they look better. Like, this is the quality stuff, you guys. So if you see Toshiba, nope, what did I just say? Yamaha, and this Avantage, I gotta set this down, it's kind of heavy. That is the one that you want to get. So I get it home, I test it, and this bad boy works. So of course I've got discs galore to test it. So yeah, I tested it with Little Women. No, I didn't. Little Women wasn't even in there. The DVD was in there of Little Women, but the Blu-ray was Titanic. Yeah. But Titanic worked. I plugged it in. We made it work. We got this lovely TV over here that is my testing TV, and everything worked. It was beautiful. So I listed this guy. It was super rare. I know, I laugh when I say the super rare because the kids, everything is super rare now. But he was super rare. The last one that sold was back in 2022. So we're talking 3 years ago. And it sold for $250. So again, going back in the back of my head, hubby says that stuff is not as good quality anymore as the old stuff. So we know it is only going up in value. Only going up. So this guy, I'm like, okay, I have the only one. There's no other listed. There's some listed for parts, and they're still like $50 or more. So I knew even going into it, paying the $20, I can sell the remote and I can sell the player for parts and still make almost $100. That's why it was a no-brainer. But when it worked, now I really got to start thinking of how to price this thing. So I went for the moon. Why not? I could take offers, but let's shoot for the moon and see what happens. So I put a price tag on there of $500, thinking no way anyone's going to buy it for $500, but I'll be happy with 3, 4, I mean, heck, even 400. Like, that would be insane, right? This guy sold within hours of listing it for full price of $500. $500. So now I'm like, darn it, Jennifer, you underpriced it. But I am so happy to take $20 and turn it into $500 all day long. I think somebody was really, really set on getting this. Asking more would have just been a robbery. Like, there's no reason to have asked for more. 500 was already excessive, and I mean, if somebody really wants it, they put their own value, and it's obviously worth $500 to them because they know how good it is. All right, so no, I didn't rip anyone off by putting a price. I just priced it where I thought was a fair value price on an item that is no longer available, that is none available, and if you want it, you're going to pay for it. All right. Okay. So you guys, I hope you enjoyed this. It was definitely long. It was a little chatty, but it is now 8:45 on Sunday night. If I have any more sales tonight, I will do an insert in the morning, but otherwise I will go ahead and pack most of these up tonight and survive tomorrow with the kids. If you have any tips on other entertaining things for the kids to do in the summer, let me know. But really, it's just about living in water right now because 110 degrees is miserable. So we are just all pool, all water, all swimming all day long. But tomorrow's a splash pad, and that's great for the kids, not so much for the grown-ups because we're just standing there roasting. So maybe I need to go into the splash pad. All right, friends. So we did get 3 more sales overnight and 1 sale cancellation. Annoying, but when they're canceling it now, I'd rather them do it now rather than get the item, change their mind, and then I have to pay for the shipping. So that's fine. It's what it is. It was that Macari sale at the end. $100, yes, $100 item. But again, I'd rather go ahead and cancel it and not have to deal with him getting it and then telling me, oh, it's not as described, or lie whatever baloney so that he can get his money back and I'd end up losing the cost. So no, go ahead and cancel. If you change your mind, do it now. So it's already boxed. We boxed it last night, but that's fine. I'll pull it from the box and I'll probably just label on the box, put a little sticky that says what the item is. That way I can keep him packed because I know he is going to sell again. Okay, so that's 1 item that's going to be removed. But then the 3 items that did come in last night, we've got a couple good ones. This was another little guy, but this is a fun one because I do find these often at my bins, but sometimes you can find them at Goodwill. You can find them at other places in the wild. So this is a brand called Owlette. And Owlette makes these, like, what do you even call them? Like heart rate monitors? Oxygen monitors. I think it's more of an oxygen thing, for babies. So they tie into these little contraptions that strap onto baby's foot so that you can track their heart rate, you can track their oxygen, you can track the temperature, all the different things. And as a mama, like, you worry and you want to make sure that baby is breathing okay, and being able to monitor it constantly does bring peace. To me, it would just stress me out and I would just be watching it 24 hours. So not for me, but for some people, it does bring them peace. So this is actually just the cable to it. So this was on Dollar Day at the bins, and it's just the cable. It's just the little USB and micro USB cable. So yeah, but these are, they're not huge profits, but again, I paid $1 and it sold for 15 bucks. And it's just going to go into a poly mailer. So super easy to ship. And I think, yeah, they paid shipping. So it's going to be still like a $10-ish, roughly $10 profit on a $1 quick item. I'll take it. Next, this was another decent one, but this was an Amazon bin swap. Okay, so when I buy my items at the bins, I'm usually pretty good at double checking what is in the box, making sure it works. They have a testing area so I can make sure that the items are what the items are. So I don't know where I was distracted this day, but I found a Rode microphone, RODE, top brand on Microphone World. And I look in the box and it's there. Like, it looks just like the one in the picture. Everything looks good. I get home and realize it had some serious damage. So it is taped up all over this cable. I don't know who ate it, but this cable is absolutely destroyed. So I sold it as is for parts because of this. It does work. It's just electric taped all over. So somebody needs to know what they're doing to replace the wire. It was obviously an Amazon swap. People do this all the time and it's a shame, but they buy the item again on Amazon, put their broken one in there, and then send it back to Amazon. sometimes they're somewhat honest and they just put a broken one of that item. Sometimes they do like the Pokemon thing where they take everything they want and then send you an empty box. Or there was literally a box of rocks one time where it was a fancy camera. This was like a $4,000 camera that somebody stole from Amazon, and they returned it with a box of literally rocks. It was like those toy rocks that you kids can paint. And they obviously stole it from Amazon, and Amazon didn't know it. So it's a shame, and it happens, and I should have caught it before I bought it for $15, knowing this is over $100 microphone. But it did sell for 45 bucks. So hopefully they read the description and saw the pictures that it is a flawed item. It works, it's just flawed. All right. Oh, I do have one more on Macari that I want to tell you guys about too. I gotta go grab it. This one sold last night as well, and it is an Echo Express Sonnets Simply Fast Thunderbolt computer thing. Okay, so this one was given to us to sell from a family member. Back when I had my accident, he gave us a whole bunch of stuff to sell to help pay for medical bills. So thank you to him. This guy, I listed originally, and this is also another really good tip. Sorry this video is so long, but this one, what you definitely want to do when it's an item that you've had for a while or something that you don't recognize and someone sends you an offer on it, look up what the current cost is, because I'm not going through and relisting 1,200 items on my store. It's not happening. But if I have something up there for, say, $150, someone sends me an offer of $100. This is similar to what happened to that Pokemon, or not Pokemon, I got that in my brain. That Game Boy yesterday, but 10 minutes ago that I told you guys about. And when I went to look up comps of it, the value went down. So same with this. I had it listed at like $200 or $250. That's what it was selling for 6 months ago when I listed it. Now they've gone down. So the ones that are selling are going for like $120, $130. So I got an offer last night of $155. So before I was quick to deny it because it was like 50% off of what I was asking, I'm like, hold on, Jennifer, what is it actually selling for now? Before I get greedy and deny this claim or deny the offer, let's see what it's selling for. And that's when I saw, no, that's actually a fair offer. The last one that sold was an open box for $160. Mine's used. It's used well. Like, I know the owner that had it, and he takes very good care of his audio gear and computer stuff. So, I know that it's a quality item, and I know that it works, but if they're going to send me an offer of $155, I'm going to take it. So, take that as a lesson, that if you get offers on something you've had a while, like if it's something I just listed yesterday and you send me a 50% off offer, no, eat dirt, I'm declining your offer. But if it's something I've had for 6 months or more, chances are the trends of that item have changed. And the price I priced it at before may be different than the price I have it at now. All right, I hope that makes sense. Okay, let me grab that one last Macari sale that just popped in. And this is going to mess up with my numbers, but I had, where was I at yesterday? Like $14.50, I think, on eBay, and then 100 on Macari, but we're going to take the 100 off of Macari. I don't know. At the end, you will get the full breakdown, you guys. So even though I'm messing with these numbers, we got to add another $200 to it. But then take 100 out. So whatever that maths to, it's too early. I haven't had enough coffee, and you will actually get a breakdown at the end. But let me go grab that last Macari one, because this one, it's a fun one. Where did I put it? All right, you guys. I sold this last week, too. I got one last week, listed it, and it sold fast. Here's another one. This is the milk holder. This thing cracks me up because I breastfed both of my kiddos. So high five to anyone who does it. It's a lot of work, and yes, but this little guy apparently has something to do with it. I don't know what. It blows my mind. It makes your milk to go. But then, so I listed this last night. I got it yesterday for $8. And I got it at the same time I just bought, what was the other one that just sold for $8 that I just bought? Oh, the vitamins. So some of my stuff that I just bought yesterday is already selling. And so this guy, Bins Find, $8 day, and he's worth about $50 is what he sells for. But then I get a message last night after I listed it that it was missing the cap. And I'm like, what is it missing? So they wrote back to me, and she had a whole thing about how this changes the way she has to pump. Like, okay, this is fancier than I think it is. It's got something to do with a breast pump. So high five to the mamas that have to use this for their breastfeeding, because that's a whole different struggle. I'm telling you, like, this milk is to go and easier than having to deal with bottles and formulas and mixing and all of that. But if you're working full time or you're just busy and you have to pump, like, that's a big majority of people, I'm sure. Like, if this helps you, that's awesome. High five. So this guy, I listed it at the $50, but I didn't realize that it's missing whatever this cap is. That's also a big part of this tool. So she wrote back, she's like, oh, it's worthless without that. So she offered me, first she said $20. And I'm like, I mean, I'm sure that cap is maybe $5 on Amazon. Like, come on. And she comes back, says this whole other spiel about it, and gives the offer of $28. And you guys, as a mama, I'm going to help her out. So I didn't realize it was missing another piece of the cap. I looked at the other listing just to double check that I wasn't being bamboozled. But no, it did have another cap that went over it. Like this little cup that can help, I guess, catch it. I don't know. This is just, it's mind-blowing to me. But I went ahead and took her offer because it's obviously going to a good home. She needs it. Maybe she has extra lids or caps that she can use. I paid $8. So to take 8 into 28, yes, I'm going to do it. It was that quick and that fast and super easy to ship. So that's my last Macari guy. And that wraps up all the sales for the weekend. And if you enjoyed this, nope, we're going to go ahead and do the outro from yesterday's video. All right. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, thumbs up. Tell YouTube that you liked it. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any more of these videos in the future. And 2 things you want to know about in the description. The first one is my BOLO list. You guys, my BOLO list is completely free. Top brands, top items to grab as a reseller down below. Then I have my spreadsheet. I talk about my spreadsheet a lot in the video, and it is available for you in the description. It is for sale, so there's a $10 off coupon if you're interested in buying it. Makes it $37. $37, and it is yours for a lifetime. You get any updates, you get support. It's from me. I will be the one emailing you. I'm the one that responds to all the emails, but it's going to keep track of all of your sales, all of your deductions, all of your returns, all of your miles. It is a beautiful piece of art that is available if you are interested down below. And it's called the Desert Dashboard, if I didn't say that. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.